I was recently scrolling through Facebook Marketplace when I came across a bit of a bargain. A Nintendo Game Boy Color with 3 Zelda games. The 3 best Zelda games ever, I might add.
Hello.
Nothing was in great condition, but the seller only wanted £50. He bought it all from new, and he's had it his whole life. So obviously, I bought it.
Thank you, mate. Thanks very much. Have a great.
In this video, I'm going to be cleaning everything up. While everything does work, the games don't make a very good connection, and the buttons on the Game Boy don't press properly either. Also, everything is just in desperate need of a good clean. Most of the problems are going to be completely fixed with some TLC, but we will need to take everything apart to do it properly. One of the games doesn't hold its save anymore, and this is likely due to the battery inside going completely flat. So I will replace them all just to be on the safe side. Everything is in rather poor condition, with the exception of Oracle of Ages. But having a collection like this, which has been with one person their whole life, is just incredible. And I absolutely have to give it all a new lease of life. So let's get started with the games. To take them apart, I'll need to use what's called a game bit screwdriver. Luckily, my toolkit has one of these, so I'll go ahead and remove the screws from each game. One of the screws was a little bit dirty, so I gave that a clean with some isopropyl alcohol, and now it looks much better. Then I can slide off the top of the cartridge shell and take the motherboard out. At this point, we can see some of the reasons why these games aren't reading properly. The pins are rusty, or just oxidized and dirty, which is then trying to make a connection to a likely similar condition Game Boy cartridge connector. But we can fix that, it's okay. Taking out the battery will remove any save file left on the game, so I want to try and back these up, and for that I'll be using Epilogue. You just plug this into your computer and open up the software. It reminds you to ensure the pins are clean for a good connection. So after giving the pins a bit of a clean with some isopropyl alcohol, I can connect each game and offload the game's save file and save them for later. Once all of this has been done, I can remove the batteries. I'll apply some flux and gently lift the batteries off with my soldering iron and clean up the pads afterwards. Then I repeated this for all 3 and cleaned everything with some isopropyl alcohol and my friend's sister's driving instructor's dad's brother's toothbrush. Then I went off into my parts bin in search of the replacement batteries. Here they are. Let's solder these back into place. After giving the boards one final clean, we can then see which game is which and close the cartridges back up. I gave the shells a light clean up with some Mr. Sheen and cleaned up the pins one final time. And all that's left to do is put the game data back on each cartridge and see if the save function works again. But we'll do that right after we clean up this Game Boy. Right there. There's the culprit for the faulty buttons. They are absolutely revolting. But we can fix that though. Once everything is removed from the Game Boy shell, I can place it in some hot soapy water and give it all a thorough clean. Once the shell was all clean and it was left to dry, I turned my attention to the motherboard, which I cleaned up using some isopropyl alcohol and a toothbrush. Removing the marks from each button contact is done using a cotton bud or Q-tip so that I can press really hard and almost polish it clean. The cartridge port got a deep clean too, as well as any component near a cutout in the shell where dirt had a higher chance of getting inside the Game Boy. Finally, I gave the button membranes a good clean to get a nice fresh connection with each button press. I dropped some isopropyl alcohol into the volume wheel and gave it a good clean. I did the same thing for the power switch and then cleaned up the battery contacts. Then it was time to reassemble and see if it still works. Well, I think we can all agree that that looks far better. It smells nice, it looks nice, I know the inside is spotless, and the start button actually works. Let's go ahead and put the game saves back on the cartridges. That's done by simply plugging the game back into Epilogue and uploading the file. It is so simple. There it is. Like nothing ever changed. Except now each game will save for several more decades to come. There we have it. It's finished. It's up on eBay, 99p starting bid. All of the money's going to a charity that I really like. I hope you have an amazing 2024, and to be honest with you, just the rest of your life in general. Bye.